Hey guys, it's Kelly again. I'm going to do a makeup tutorial for you today. I'm going to use a couple of different products from the last time that I did a makeup look for you. The main thing is I'm going to be focusing on my chocolate bar palette. That's the one that I want to really focus on. And I thought that I would include some other products that maybe you've seen and they don't have, or that sort of thing. And I thought we could just have a chit-chatty get ready with me today. So I have to go meet someone. I'm selling my son's bike and they're coming to get it, so I've got to meet with them. And I thought, well, you know what? I've got to put makeup on anyway. I might as well share with you. My makeup tutorials are going to be long because I take a long time and I talk a lot. But please don't mind the hair. I've just got it pulled up into, just like a little twist up or whatever, because I'm not going to curl it just to go for that or whatever. A couple of updates that I wanted to give you, or actually just one update. Well, while we're talking, let me put this on. This is my Yes to Coconut Balm. I like to put that on before I start with my makeup because it keeps my lips moisturized and that sort of thing while I'm working. I got this, guys. This is the anti-aging serum that came in my BoxyCharm this past month. Guys, I did not want to like this. I did not want to like this. I've been using it in the morning and at night because I wanted to see if it was what kind of a difference it made. And the reason for that is because there is 0.23 ounces in this tiny little tube. And this tiny little tube costs a big $58. I was floored when I realized that this actually was $58. I figured this is one of those WTF products, and how could something so small cost so much? I know that you can get it on Amazon and several different places. It's the Freeze 24/7. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it's the Freeze 24/7. But that's what it says right there. It says anti-aging eye serum. That's all it says, and that's what came in the BoxyCharm, just like this. $58. So it says on here that it helps reduce puffiness, fine lines, dark circles, and other signs of aging around the eye area. I've not noticed any difference in the color underneath my eyes. But guys, the puffiness in my eyes, they're a little puffy on the top right now, but the underneath, even though it looks, because I've not color corrected or done, I don't have anything on my face right now. I'm totally barefaced. This has significantly reduced the puffiness and the fine lines. It is amazing. I didn't want it to be. I doubt that I will purchase this because of the cost. A full size is, of course, over $100, and it does not take but just the tiniest bit, smaller than like a half a pea size for both eyes. And what I did is I just would you do this before you moisturize. I just took and I would run it with your ring finger. You always use your ring finger when you run your eyes. I would run it over that, and then I would come up in here. See, I tend to have some wrinkles in this area, and I'm not sure why the wrinkles start in this area, but I also have them, of course, in the corner and then underneath the eyes. And if I don't keep it moisturized, it gets very crepey looking, because I have the more mature skin. You can see all of the redness in my face. I have the dark circles. I have a red nose because it's sunburned from last Saturday. My son, they won their championship. They were county champs, so we're excited. But I have the dark circles here. I tend to have a little bit of the redness around my nose, but not too bad. I always have a red chin, and you can see, I'm sure you can tell. This is what I was talking about last time when I said that I had the broken capillaries in my face. You can kind of see, I believe, in the viewfinder there that, this area is really, really red. And then I have this redness down here. And this is what I was talking about. This is not rosacea. My skin is very smooth to the touch. I've been to the doctor several times. It is a hormone / hereditary / just me. And my son has redness here too. We have been to the dermatologist and we've tried all different kinds of things, the two of us trying to, you know, take the redness out. And there's not really anything I can do. So I can camouflage. Unfortunately, he doesn't wear makeup, so he can't do that. But he doesn't seem to really mind his redness. He as long as his, you know, acne is fairly under control, he's usually pretty happy. So this is what I'm dealing with. I wanted you to see really up close because I don't believe that I showed you that in my first time doing this. So I just wanted you to kind of see what I'm looking at when I look in the mirror and the kinds of things that I have to control. I have a big double chin here. I've gained weight. I had pneumonia. And I was sick from November to the 1st of January, and I gained a lot of weight because I was in the bed asleep with 103 temperature for a long time. And so, I mean, I don't even remember half of it. I just know that I've gained a lot of weight since then, and I'm already trying to lose some weight. So, you know, I do have a lot of things that I have to fix in order to feel comfortable going out. That's the thing about aging. You know, the more you age, the more things that you see crop up that you have to fix. You know, my eyebrows are sparse. I mean, I could go on and on about the things that I know about myself because I look in the mirror every day, and you may not notice them right away, and you may. But I see myself in the mirror multiple times a day, and so I do know what is going on with my face, and I do know what I need to fix. And so those kinds of things, you know, are just things that make me self-conscious. I'm already self-conscious because of my weight. I'm going to do a video soon about my weight and about my illness and the things that I suffer with. I'm getting there slowly, but for today, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to do a couple of new things, and I'm going to talk to you about how to do eyeshadow for someone with hooded eyes. I have severe hooded eyes. I mean, you know, when I open my eyes, you can see that the mobile part of my lid almost absolutely disappears. So, I mean, you know, the thing is that there are some tricks and techniques and things that you can do to help with that, because a lot of people have hooded eyes, and the older you get, the more likely you are to have those. So we're going to go ahead and get started here. I have the Scandinavia primer spray, which is my favorite. I was going to use something different today, but I'm going to go ahead and just stick with what I know. This is going to be a long video, so get you a snack, sit back, get you something to drink, and just, you know, enjoy. That's what I want for, you know, I want for you to enjoy my videos, even if they are long. I want to keep your attention, and so I'm going to try to control these flyaways, and I'm going to show you some things that we need to watch out for with our hooded eyes today. So using different products, focusing on the chocolate bar palette, and talking about hooded eyes. That's what we're going to do today. So I'm going to start by priming. This stuff is wonderful. I get an email from them all the time. If you go to Scandinavia.com, when you place an order of both the it's the makeup primer spray oil control, and then also with that the makeup finishing spray, and it says bridal on it. It's not cheap, but it goes forever. These have lasted me so long, and there's still so much in here. It just doesn't really take much, but they're incredible. And you know, there's a lot of celebrity makeup artists and things like that use these. They're better than the Urban Decay. They're better than any the Smashbox, Makeup Forever, MAC. They're better than all of those. These are what you would call, like, those would all be like in the lower grade. These are in mid grade. You can get higher level, more expensive products, and these are a lot. I want to say like 50 or 60 bucks for these two, but they go forever. And since I live in a climate where there's a lot of perspiring and things like that here in Alabama, and humidity and things like that, I went ahead and made the leap to these to see if they worked. I thought, well, you know, I can just send them back if they don't work, and I would never send them back. These are my babies. So I started there. So now that I talked, my face is dry. Okay, what we're going to do first is we're going to work on the eyes first, because that's our focus. And that way, if you are only here for that part, then you can leave when I'm done if you don't want to see or hear the rest of me. The more that I talk, the sillier I get. So, okay, so there's my headband to kind of hold back the frizzies that I have from the heat today. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the eyes and some just invisible tape. Okay, the thing about hooded eyes is that you have to be careful where you actually place the eyeshadow. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this tape and we're going to put it on the back of my hand, and we're just going to kind of, you know, rub it a couple of times, pick it up, and put it back. And the reason for this is we're taking some of the tackiness away, because I'm going to be putting this under my eyes to create a barrier here on this corner. And the reason that I'm doing that is to help me control where the shadow goes, and taking some of the stickiness off will prevent it from injuring you or hurting when it pulls off and when you're done. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it right against my lash line, and I'm going to put it at an angle where it just misses the end of the tail of my brow, because that's where you want it. You do not want any makeup any eyeshadow that you put on, you do not want it to go past the tail of your brow, because with hooded eyes, it makes it look more like just a smudged mess than it does anything else. And I mean, like Wayne Goss and, you know, several other makeup artists, if you watch them on YouTube, they'll tell you, you know, to put the eye makeup where that it doesn't pass this, because once you get down into this area, you're just going too far, and what you're doing is you're closing the eye in more than opening it up, which is, you know, we want to open it up because they're hooded. So I'm going to place this right here under my eyelashes. I'm just putting it right there where it's under my eyelashes, and then I'm going to tape it to my skin right at the tail right there of my eyebrow, and we're going to just tape it there. It doesn't need to be super sticky. All we're doing is just creating a barrier. Okay, I'm going to pull this other one off, and I'm going to do the same thing on it. I'm just going to put it underneath, and I'm going to put it where it is at the end of the tail of my eyebrow. Okay, you can't stop there with this tape. What you need to do now is you need to look at yourself in the mirror, and you need to make sure that your angles are the same. You don't have one going one way and one going another. You need to make sure that they're, you know, they're pretty equal and even and that sort of thing. And I think these are pretty, you know, when you've done it a few times, you get used to it, and it, you know, it works really good. Okay, the first thing, of course, that you know you have to start with is we have to start, well, let me find the where is my, okay, here we go. Here it is. My NARS smudge proof eyeshadow base or primer, whatever you want to call it. It doesn't take much. The good thing about this is you can spend money on like the finishing spray and these sorts of items. You can splurge because they last forever. But I'm just gonna kind of just work that in. It works real easier if I use my ring finger, because it doesn't tug at the skin as much. It just makes me sick when I see people that are doing their makeup and they tug on their skin a lot or whatever, because now that I'm older, I wish I hadn't done that when I was little. I used to just, or younger, I should say, I used to, you know, just put my makeup in my, you know, put a dot and then just do it like this, you know, and I was rubbing my face the wrong way. And when you moisturize, you know, you need to rub up, you don't need to come down, because you're just, you know, gravity is already our enemy, and so you don't want to encourage it. So, you know, you always want to go in an upward motion when you're putting things on and that sort of thing. Okay, so I've got my tape and my eyeshadow primer is on. Now what I'm going to do is I am going to take a very, very light, and I mean very light, I'm going to use one of my Makeup Geek colors. I'm going to use this one right here. It is a matte color, and it's close to my skin color. It is called, I think this is Vanilla, yeah, this is Vanilla Bean from Makeup Geek. And I'm choosing this because I don't want my eyeshadow to be patchy. And if I, the only way to keep it from being patchy on top of a base is to put on, you could use, like, I could use my Stay Matte Rimmel powder. I could use any kind of setting powder. I could do anything like that. You can use pretty much anything as long as it's something that really is not going to show up very much. But the idea here is to get something on there so that when you go to actually put the colors you want and you want to place them in certain places that they actually go there, you don't have any skipping or tugging. So we're just gonna, we're just gonna put this over the entire eye. Now, it don't matter. You can go on top of that tape. It does not matter if we get, if something was to get outside of that tape, we'll just take a makeup wipe and clean it up. But we probably won't have that problem. Okay, now you can't see that color. But what it does is it gives it a very slippery, very silky, soft base so that when you go to put your colors on, and I'm using the E40 by Sigma again. This is my favorite brush. I use it for my eyes every single time I do my eyes, just about. It's just, it's wonderful because I can go ahead and do the all over color like this as what I call a base coat, a base coat for your eyes. But what it does is it allows me to put something all over, and also allows me to do really good crease work. Okay, we are going to be working with the chocolate bar palette, as you can see. The chocolate bar palette is awesome. We're going to be starting out with this color in the bottom corner. Oh, I think I dug my finger in it. That's okay. I'm going to start with hazelnut, okay? And I'm going to put this in my crease, and we're going to kind of put it where it needs to go, all right? And then after that, we're going to be using this one right here called Semi-Sweet. So we're going to use hazelnut and Semi-Sweet. This stuff smells wonderful. I just love Too Faced. It's probably either that or NARS. But they're probably my two favorite high-end brands. A lot of people don't know that, there's other brands that are wonderful, but they're actually owned by Sephora. Even though they're a name brand, they're not Sephora. They don't have Sephora written on them, but Sephora owns them. Like, for example, Kat Von D. Kat Von D, I love her things. In fact, we're going to be using the contour palette today, but not everybody knows that Kat Von D, she consults and comes out, and her branding is this, but the makeup, the cosmetic line, Kat Von D, is owned by Sephora. And a lot of people don't realize that. That's why when you go to Sephora, if you don't want to purchase the name brands, like, for example, this, if you want to buy the Sephora brand, you're going to find that the products are just as good, if not sometimes better quality. I mean, it should be. If, Kat Von D, let's see, Sephora owns Kat Von D, Makeup Forever, Elizabeth and James, and I can't remember, there was another one that I was sure of, but I know those. Sephora owns those brands. Oh, it's Marc Jacobs Beauty. Marc Jacobs Beauty, not the perfume, but the beauty. Sephora owns them. They collaborate with those people like Kat Von D. They collaborate with her. She creates, and her name is put on there, but, and I'm sure she gets, a commission or whatever, but I mean, it doesn't belong to her. And a lot of people don't realize that all of that falls, under the Sephora umbrella. And so then, of course the Sephora brand should be good because they're made in the same places. And a lot of people don't realize that. And then another thing, I mean, you can Google this if you don't believe me. I mean, it'll tell you that, Sephora owns these companies, like Kat Von D and Makeup Forever and so on. You can Google it and it'll tell you, because I actually read up on it when I found out, and I thought, well, Sephora should have good products. If they're able to produce Kat Von D or Makeup Forever, level things, then they should be able to create their own line and it be just as good. And that's why I'm encouraging you to check out Sephora. I have a lot of Sephora brand products, and they're great. I mean, they're really good. So keep that in mind. If you want to know about anything else about Sephora, look up Louis Vuitton, because Louis Vuitton, that company and a partner company, own Sephora, if you didn't know that. So that's just a little makeup trivia for you there. Okay, I'm going to go into hazelnut. I'm going to kind of get as much as I can on there, but get the extra off. Now, what I'm going to do, one thing you don't want to do is you don't want to do the windshield wiper like you would if you were, if you did not have hooded eyes. But because you have hooded eyes, you want to go straight across. And you want to go above the crease. You want to keep your eye open when you're working and go across so that you can see where you're actually laying the product. So keeping your eye open prevents you from getting down here on the small area of the mobile lid that doesn't really show. Because getting down there on that area, it makes your eyes closed in. If you can keep that area lighter, then your eye looks more open than it would if you darkened everything in the crease with the windshield wiper motions. You don't want to do an arch, you want to do it across. And so that's what I'm going to do right now, and you can just watch. I'm going to keep my eye open. I can see where my crease is. So I'm just going to go straight across just a little bit. Do not go past the inner corner. You've got this to protect, so it doesn't matter if you go across or not. So I'm just going to kind of keep my eye open, and I'm going to go across instead of, when I'm in a hurry, when I'm in a hurry, I'm not going to do this. But, you know, I've got time today, so, okay, I have laid down by going straight across and keeping my eye open. Do you see that you can see the shadow here? The idea is if you do an arch, I keep bumping this, I'm so sorry. If you do an arch, then you're getting down into this mobile lid, and you can see that that has not been covered with product. Let me do the other side real quick, and we'll move on. When I have time, I do take my time and do it correctly. If I were in a hurry, if I woke up late or whatever, of course I'm not going to go to this extent. But, you know, we're girls and we like to play in our makeup. I mean, that's why we have it, is to enjoy it, you know, and to put it on and that sort of thing. So I've just gone straight across with my eye open, and I'm staying above or right on and above my actual crease, but as above it as possible. See, I'm just going across instead of windshield wiper motions. Okay, do you see how much we have here? Do you see that? It's very different. And we can, you know, we've not put our makeup on, so we can clean up and get these edges straightened out shortly. Okay, that's all that I'm going to use of that particular one. Now, let me find a smaller brush. I've got one somewhere here, or at least I thought I did. Yes, I do. Okay, this is a Morphe E18. You can see that it's a much smaller, very detailed brush. Now I'm going to go into Semi-Sweet. What I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of bounce around and darken the outer corner like I usually do. Let me make sure my thing is stuck. And if, you know, your tape comes up or whatever, that's fine. So what I'm doing is I'm using that Semi-Sweet. I'm just bouncing it around in the corner, and then bringing a little bit of it into the, you know, up into that upper area that we put the other color. So I'm trying to define my upper crease more by just giving it a little bit of different color. And this is a matte that I'm using. The first one is a frost, actually. And I mean, you know, you can use, even if you are older, makeup is an art. And if you're doing it for fun, it's okay, you know. Take your time. Enjoy the process. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to clean that brush off. I've got a thing here to clean that brush off. It's a great. If you ever find any microfiber towels or washcloths or anything like that, grab them because they're great for switching out, you know, the colors. Okay, now I'm going to go in with Steeless Kitten. It's one of my favorites. I think I told you about the deep for it. I'm going to use the same brush because I like the smallness of it. And it's a frost. But if used correctly, you know, like I said before in my last video, if you, you know, if you put it where you want it to be and not just everywhere, that's the difference. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put just a little bit in my upper arch of that kitten. Just what would be my upper arch. I'm going to do that on the other side. See how it immediately, the brightness of it, how it opens up your eye. Do you see this? See, I've got to clean up this inner eye here, but it's okay. I mean, you know, that's the point of, you know, starting with your eyes first when you're doing this technique. But this is, like I said, this is really the best thing for hooded eyes. Okay, I don't normally put a whole lot in my, you know, inner corner or whatever, but I'm going to put just a little bit, even though I'm going to clean up this area shortly. I'm going to put a little bit, and then what I'm going to do, my mobile lid, I want it to be a little bit brighter, so I'm going to add the same color, and I'm just going to add it right there, right in the center. Just right in the center. And it brightens it up. Just right in the center and straight across, no arching. Okay. This is what we're looking at. Now, it may look like a crazy mess right now, but we're about to clean it up. I'm going to take some of my Bioderma, and I'm going to wet that. Let's peel these off. Be very careful pulling them off in case it grabs that tender skin, you know, where you would normally have bags or whatever. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, oh goodness, this came out quick. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of clean up. Make sure there's not any fallout. I'm going to keep that sharpness. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in this inner part of my eye and clean up where I made a mess. And you will see sometimes it makes too much of a drastic line right there. So what you have to do, it's very simple. Just go back and feather it out. Just use your blending brush like this E40 from Sigma, my favorite brush of all time. Just, you know, just freshen it up a little bit. Now, do you see how nice and sharp the lines are on my outer lid? If you want to, I'm not going to do a dark, you know, like a liquid liner and a wing or anything like that. But if you leave the tape on, you can, it gives you a nice guide for a wing if you're used to wearing a wing. I'm not real good at it, so I'm not going to do it today. We'll be here for hours and hours and hours if I was trying to do that, and I'd end up having to start over again. I can't do it. So, but this gives you the illusion of a wing, and when we go to put our makeup on and everything, you'll see how it comes together, because it does come together quite well. Okay, what I'm going to do, I've already primed my face. I'm using, again, my Matte and Poreless by Maybelline. I'm trying to use this up because it's been open for a while, and there's still a lot in here, so I'm trying to use it up. Sorry, my nose is itching. See how red it gets when I itch my nose? Okay, so what I'm going to do, I told you last time that, you know, it kind of, it dries really fast. So I'm going to take my Flat Top Quibiki. It's the F80 from Sigma. And I'm just going to kind of go ahead and start blending that in. And no, I have not touched my brows yet. I'll do that shortly. I forgot to clean this brush, and it's got Laura Mercier tinted moisturizer, and it has a very strong scent. It's almost like a baby powder scent, like a powdery, sweet scent or whatever. I can smell it using this again. Okay, now let's go with this side. I need to try and cover up as much as possible. And remember, don't worry about getting under your eyes. We're gonna come back with concealer. So how are you guys today? Is everybody doing well? I had surgery. Today was a week ago. It was minor surgery, but that's why you've not seen any videos from me in a couple of days. I have been taking it pretty easy. I'll go ahead and share with you. I feel like it's something that people should know, because I didn't know, and I consider myself to be pretty good about my health, because I have a lot of issues. But I went to my yearly GRWM visit, and I missed the last couple of years for reasons that are just too long to explain. But I had not been for a checkup. In November and December, I had the pneumonia that made me really, really sick, and I took a lot of steroids. The prednisone dose packs, trying to help my immune system. And what happened, which is a blessing in disguise, I've told you guys to always check your boobs every month. I was still checking my boobs, I just hadn't been to the doctor. Well, I went to check my boobs, and I found a really large knot, a lump in my right breast, and it scared the crap out of me. I mean, it really did. You know, I know my body because I do exams every month, and this came up within a month, and it was a pretty good size. I would say maybe half of a golf ball, something like that. It was really large, came up really fast, and it scared me. And so put a little bit more here. Didn't quite get it. So I made it. My doctor had retired, and that's one reason why I had not been in a while. And you know, going to the GYN is not fun, so we kind of tend to put it off. And so I had just been putting it off because I knew I was going to have to get another doctor, and you know, that kind of doctor, it's so personal, and you think, oh Lord, I don't want to, you know, have to meet somebody new or whatever. So, you know, and have them go down there looking around and piddling and paddling, and, you know, I mean, you know how it is. You're a woman. If you're a woman, you really do. You understand. And so I made the appointment. I called my best friend. She's a nurse, and I told her what was going on. Her mom passed away from breast cancer. She's been my best friend since 7th grade, and we're coming up next year will be a 30th high school year reunion. So I mean, I'm getting older, but her mother passed away, and so I called her immediately, and I told her what was going on, and she said that I needed to see her doctor. She said you know, how wonderful he was. She spoke very highly of him, and so long story short, I went to see him. They did the normal checkup and all that good stuff. Now I'm going to do my concealer, and I'm going to be using the Maybelline Fit Me. Let's see, Maybelline Fit Me. And it is in the color 15 Fair Claire. I think that's what I used last time. And I'm just going to, you know, kind of... Oh, I forgot my NYX color corrector. Oh, well. That's okay. It's going to be a long video anyway. But anyway, so I went to the doctor. I had a pap smear and a checkup and all those things that need to be done. And he examined me. Of course, he sent me for a mammogram, but when he examined me, he said, you know, Kelly, it's fine. It's not cancer. I can tell you just by the exam and, you know, what you're describing to me. He said that there's, you know, that's just not what it is. And so what did I do? Here, that's my brush. And so he told me that it was fibrocystic change. And that's where you get, you know, they're very tender, very hurtful knots in your breast tissue. And it can be, you know, it's hereditary, first of all, and my mother has a severe problem with it. But, you know, when you find a lump, you're not thinking like that. You're thinking, oh, God, let's get this checked out. What if it's something bad? That's what you're thinking. So I went, had him examine it. He told me it was fibrocystic change. He said that breast cancer, that lumps like that, they don't normally, first of all, they don't normally hurt. You can feel the knot, but it's not tender to the touch. And so we talked about, you know, what I had been through in the last couple of years. And when I explained to him I had had the pneumonia and all the medicines that I had taken, he said that all the steroids that I had taken during the time that I had the pneumonia, he said that is most likely what brought it out. That and the fact that I drank a lot of Cokes and things like that I shouldn't be drinking, because caffeine makes fibrocystic tissue worse. It makes it tender and that sort of thing. And I didn't, you know, ever have a problem with it before, but now I have a problem with it. And I've noticed over the last couple of weeks that, well, yeah, you can still see I didn't color correct because I forgot, but you know what? It'll be okay. We'll get to it. Don't worry. Okay. And down the neck, don't forget, no lines, maybe in the edge of the ear just a little bit or something, but that's about it. Okay. I think I'm through there. Okay, I'm going to go in with my Shade and Light palette by Kat Von D, or whatever, Kat Von D. I'm going to go in with that, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to use, I love this little Morphe E8. It's a really cute little brush, and it's really good for, you know, focus. I'm going to get right here in the middle and get this banana shade, and that's what I'm going to set my under eye with today, and hope that it brightens it up just a little bit, because I've been talking. So I found out that, you know, my boobs were okay. I just needed to, you know, I did not know that once I got the fibrocystic change that it would continue to get worse if I eat chocolate or have caffeine, you know, and I drink coffee and Cokes and things like that. And so right now, my boobs are hurting so bad because I have a lot of lumps in them from it, and you know, that sort of thing. But I've had, you know, I've had a mammogram, and I'm good there. And like he said, you know, if it's cancer, it's not tender, and it shouldn't hurt to touch it. It would just be something, you know, a hardness you would feel. And so a couple of days after I saw him, I'm going to go in with the brush that came with the Kat Von D thing. I'm going to use this, and I'm going to contour today. And I'm going to use a mixture of these two. I kind of use a mixture of the two. And remember, even with your ear, and you just kind of, I'm using this today instead of that It Cosmetics brush that I like, just because I want to use this and show you what a nice blend out this brush gives. Sometimes they sell things. You know, like the brushes that go with certain things. Like they'll sell a brush that goes with the foundation, and you don't buy it because you think, well, I got plenty of brushes, I don't need that one, you know, I'll just use the one I've already got. But really and truly, sometimes what they're using is you know, the brush that they're, you know, selling with it is actually, you know, that's what they formulated it to go with. And I would say that the Kat Von D Shade Light palette, you know, the contour palette, I do believe that it, you know, this brush is perfect for this product. So it, in my opinion, is worth the purchase. I also went ahead, when the Shade and Light eye palette came out, I went ahead and purchased the eye brush that goes with that too. Even though I like my E40 for my eyes or whatever, it you know, it makes a difference. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I am going to go ahead and set the rest of my face. I have this giant E2. It's just a big fluffy brush. It's wonderful. I'm using the Rimmel Stay Matte It's in the color Nude Beige, number 20. And I'm just going to just kind of set everywhere because I used a lot of concealer and because I tend to sweat, that sort of thing. And this brush is really good. It's really good for getting in there and blending in things. Okay, I'm going to stop right there with that. So I've set my face and I've got the contour shades and I've, you know, put something to set my under eyes and then my entire face also. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on my brows. I do have my Anastasia Brow Wiz and I use soft brown. I'm going to use this a little bit today just because I want to do a little bit more. What I normally do is I just kind of outline underneath the bottom and then I give a few little strokes up here and then I fill in anything that looks a little sparse, and then when I spoolie it and use the Brow Wiz on top of it, it usually works pretty good and that sort of thing. So since I'm taking my time today, that's what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to real short little strokes. I'm not real good at this, I will admit that. But my brows are sparse. And this one right here, for some reason, it wants to poke up. I'm not really sure why. But it does, and it drives me insane. Okay, back to my story. See my brow? See the difference in my brow? I just filled it in, and I didn't take much at all. Of course, if I was, you know, trying to get ready quick, I wouldn't. This is just a step I would skip because I don't feel like that on a daily basis. I really, really need this. But back to my story. 2 days after I went to see the doctor, his nurse called, and she said, Kelly, we've gotten the results to your pap smear, and she said it came back as abnormal, and so we need to see you come in. And I said, okay. She said, have you ever had an abnormal pap smear before? And I have, and I told her, and she said, well, she said, what we see from the report is going to require a small in-office procedure. And this one is not equal, I don't think. I tried to make it a little more equal, but my eyebrows never match, and that, you know, but let me spoolie through them and get the true look, and then we'll see where we need to go from there. So I asked her, I said, well, you know, what kind of procedure? I'm not understanding. I mean, I've had an abnormal pap smear before, so I don't understand. She said, well, she said, we just found some things on your pap smear that the doctor needs to look at. And she said, he'll do a, you know, in-office procedure. She said, he'll go in, and and by go in, I do mean go in. He practically stood me up. He put me in a chair that stood me up on my head just about. And, there we go. See? Not too bad. I mean, you know, I'm not real good at it, but, you know, with practice, you can make your eyebrows look decent. I've never been one that really focused on my eyebrows, so this is weird to me. She said that he would go in with and look. See, I had okay, start off my history. I had a full and total complete hysterectomy when I was 35. I'm 46, so it's been 11 years ago. I'll be 47 in July, so almost 12 years ago. So I had the full hysterectomy. I knew I didn't have any ovaries. I knew I didn't have a uterus. I didn't have any of those kinds of things that you know, that they take out or whatever. And I don't think this is TMI. I mean, it's a hysterectomy, and a lot of people have them. But anyway, I honestly, when she said they had found, you know, some irregular cells, I was like, where? I mean, like, where could you have found? I mean, you know, I've had a hysterectomy. I don't understand. And she said, well, she said, you still have a vagina. And she said, a lot of people think when they have a hysterectomy, they don't have to worry about cancer. Well, of course, when you hear that word, and she's calling you because they want you to come in to see you for abnormal pap smear, you tend to just check out a little bit emotionally and mentally and all that good stuff. And so, you know, I did. I was like, are you serious? And so I'm going to use some blush now. I'm using, well, goodness, if I can hold on to it. Okay, I'm using the Milani Luminoso. It's really pretty. It's similar to, it's a little bit peachier, but it's similar to NARS Orgasm. And I'm just going to use the other end of the Kat Von D brush, the fluffy end, for that, so I can get it right on my cheeks. She said that he would take a microscope to look at the walls of my vagina. And that he would use a vinegar water solution to spray the interior of my vagina. I know, strange, all right? I'd never heard of such. I couldn't imagine. She said he'll spray it, and she said then he will, he'll be able to tell by looking, because he'll be looking under a microscope. She said when he sprays the walls, it makes the abnormal cells turn white and show. And she said, so he'll be able to see just how severe it is and what level we're talking about and that sort of thing. So when he came in, he explained to me that there are different levels of, you know, or grades of precancerous tissue. So what they had found was a tissue that, if left alone, would become cancer. And so, you know, I was thinking to myself, my God, thank God I came in for the lump that turned out to be nothing. So I feel like that was sort of like a blessing in disguise, you know. So yeah, it was scary. And I'm going to take this big fluffy brush again, this Morphe E2, and I'm just going to blend up so that nothing looks harsh. I'm just blending it all in. Okay, and I'm going to use this highlighter. This is my second, well, I have two favorite highlighters, Champagne Pop and Laura Geller's Gilded Honey. And I'm going to use this one, and I'm going to use this brush again, the E8 from Morphe that I used to set my under eyes with. Now I'm going to use this to focus my highlighter. Remember, I told you to stay away from your eye area. So you can go right on top of where the apple of your cheek is. And then I kind of come up in a C shape just to kind of give a little bit of brightness. Went in, had the procedure done, and he told me that he did a biopsy. He found a lesion and an ulcer. And he said that I was going to need surgery. So, I had to get him to draw me a picture. I'm not stupid. I'm very intelligent, but I was so confused because I knew I'd had a total hysterectomy. He said, well, they took out your uterus, your ovaries, fallopian tubes, cervix, everything. He said, but you still have that vagina. And he said, you know, like it leaves like a hole in your body where those organs were. And he said what they do is they take the top of the vagina and they fold it over, they sew it together, and that keeps what's on top, your organs, you know, your bladder, all those things. It helps keep that intact. You know, sometimes you'll still have a fallen bladder or whatever, but for the most part, that's what keeps your organs in place and that sort of thing. Well, that area where it's been sewn together is called a vaginal cuff. I'd never heard that before in my life. I didn't know anything about it. But anyway, that's where the lesion and the cyst was located, was on the vaginal cuff. He told me that he needed to go in and he needed to use a laser, and he needed to remove, you know, basically burn away the bad tissue. And he told me it was, you know, I mean, he called me and explained that it was nothing to worry about. I pack on this stuff. I love it so much. Down my nose, just not all the way up, but down my nose, because I like the tip end of my nose to, and then here, the highlight though, I love the highlight. But he told me don't worry about it, you know, that was medium grade, you know, not the best. We were hoping for the low grade, but you know. So I got there Tuesday morning. I had to have somebody bring me, and my mom was working the polls because it was election day, and so my dad had to take me, and that was a little unusual, but I can't tell you how wonderful it was to spend time with just my dad, even though it was such a girly situation. He was so good. I love my dad so much. I don't know what I would ever do without him. I don't think he knows how important he is to me. I know that my mom knows how important she is to me, but I don't think that my dad knows. I don't think that he knows how much he's needed. I don't think that he realizes the impact he has on me, and I don't think he realizes what a role model he is for my son. My son really loves my dad. My son doesn't really show love. I'm going to cry. I'm sorry. He doesn't really show love the way that others do. The genes he has in him, my ex's side of the family, they're very, they're withdrawn, and they're not openly loving. They're not lovey-dovey, giving hugs and things like that. And I'm very affectionate, and, you know, so I try hugging on him and that sort of thing, but it doesn't usually work. Let me get a, let me get a lip liner here. I'm going to be using the Too Faced Perfect Lips in, what color? Perfect Pink. Perfect Pink by Too Faced. I love theirs, and I don't like the kind you have to, you know, sharpen. I like the ones that are automatic. They're the best. So anyway, I got off topic, and I know it's getting long here, but I mean, it's girl talk. It's real. It's me. You know, guys, everybody, especially when you get older, you have parts of your life that you've learned from. And I certainly have learned a lot. I've been through a lot. That I'll talk about one day. But anyway, they got my IV ready, got me changed, got my IV ready, got me in the bed and covered up. And they let my dad come back to be with me until they took me to surgery. They got me ready, but while I was waiting on my dad to come back there, my doctor came in. And he said, "Hey, sweetheart, how are you? Are you okay?" And I said, "Well, you know, I'm nervous." And he said, "Well, don't be." He said, "It's fine." See, I didn't bronze up or do anything like that because I feel like the contour shade is gorgeous. I mean, it's just beautiful. You can see it's a very soft contour. I mean, I didn't go in and do a cut. You know what I'm saying? It just was real easy. My eyes, I'm going to do the underneath right now, and I'm going to use the same colors, and I'm going to use that small brush that I used. It is right. Oh, where is it? What did I do with it? Is this it? No, that's not it. Well, where did it go? Oh, here it is. So my dad, the doctor came back before my dad, and I'm just going into this semi-sweet. This is a matte. I'm going to put a little shadow of it underneath my eyes. The doctor came in and he told me, he said, "Kelly," he said, "I didn't really want to worry you." He said, "But we're looking at, you know, a high grade. We're looking at high grade. We're not looking at medium or low. We're looking at high grade." He said, "Another 6 months and you'd had vaginal cancer." Wow, that was a wake-up call. First of all, I could have beat myself for not going in to my appointments for like 3 years and letting myself, you know, get to the point where I was going to need surgery for the possibility of having cancer. I mean, so that's where I've been, guys, and, you know, it's not a good place to be in. I'm going to use my Tarte eyelash curlers. I'm going to curl my eyelashes. You have to be careful when you have hooded eyes because you can pinch yourself real easy. Okay, and then he told me, he said, "But we've caught it quickly." He said, "I'm going to laser it, And he said, I'm going to do my best to make sure that I get everything. He said, and it should all be fine. So, went into surgery. My dad came back, and I told him what he had said. And I said, so Dad, we're looking at a little bit more. I said, you know, I don't really know what to expect. They're going to get, you know, they'll tell me when it's all over, but I need you to listen for me because I don't do well with, it's hard for me to wake up after anesthesia. I don't know why, other than the fact that I do have sleep apnea. And I've got to have a sleep study done that he told me. He said, we had a very difficult time with you during surgery, trying to keep you awake. I mean, keep you breathing. He said, I would quit breathing constantly. And he said, you have got to get to a pulmonologist and you've got to get a sleep study. He said, this is very difficult on your heart. He said, and you're overweight, which I already knew. But, you know, being overweight and everything and having sleep apnea, he said, you need a CPAP machine. He said, because he said the anesthesiologist and his nurse were just, it was a full-time job keeping you breathing. And that scared me too. Scared me enough that I came straight home, and the next day when I was awake and not under, I'm putting my second coat on, by the way. And when I'm using that Rimmel Sexy Curves again, this thing just keeps going and going and going. It's not expired yet, but dang, it keeps going. I mean, I've never had a mascara that goes as long as this. So I just told my dad, I said, I need you to be my ears and help me remember what he, you know, what all he says afterwards or what the nurses tell me to do. I know they give you paperwork and everything, but, you know, I wanted to make sure. Well, after the surgery, they told my dad it takes about 30 minutes in recovery. 2 hours later, my dad was still waiting on me. They couldn't get me awake. I'm just using this today instead of that bottom lash mascara. I'm just using this. It's fine. I'm not doing eyeliner either, as you can see. So, the doctor came in. When they finally woke me up and got me back to my room, my dad was fit to be tied. He was about to die. He was just like, you know, and my dad's a heart patient, so he can't take a whole lot. And, you know, and there we were together, the two of us, you know. So, you know, he finally, after an hour, he was like, you know, okay, I gotta know what's going on. And they said, we're having a hard time waking her up. She won't wake up. She had the sleep apnea, and she's in recovery, but she has to have a nurse by her to make her breathe because she's still not breathing on her own correctly because of the apnea. And I did not realize it was that severe. I mean, you know, I'm single and I sleep alone, so there's nobody around to tell me that I'm, you know, either snoring or not sleeping in my, you know, during the night. And so there's my eyeshadow. And I did fill in my lips with the, that just a little bit or whatever. I think you can see. Now, what I'm going to use now is, this is I Want Candy by Too Faced. I love these lipsticks. They're beautiful. This is a very beautiful coral shade, coral pinky shade, similar to the lip color that I have on now. So that's what I'm going to be using now. I need to exfoliate my lips badly. Okay. Now we do the finger test. And if you guys don't know what the finger test is, you're about to see it. You stick your finger in and pull it out so that nothing gets on your teeth. See how much got on me? So, I have a rag close by just for that. We're wiping it off. The doctor said once they got me awake and got me back into a room and my dad could be with me, he said that he went ahead and he lasered way more than necessary just to be on the safe side. I go back on Monday, 6 days from now. I go back on Monday, and when I go back, you know, it's just the pre-op check or whatever, and then from that point on, I'll have to go to the GRWM every 3 to 6 months for a couple of years to be checked to make sure that it doesn't return. And Yeah, I mean, guys, you never know. And when I say check your boobs, I mean really check your boobs, because this time I found a lump, and praise God it was not cancer. But if it hadn't been for that lump that I found and that I was checking myself, I wouldn't have gone to the doctor. I had no plans to go to the GYM. I didn't have one. I needed a new one, and I had no plans to go. So, you know, I guess what I'm trying to say to you is please check yourself. Um, don't think if you've got, if you've had a hysterectomy that you're safe, because you're not. I had a very close call, and it scared me really bad, and it made me really kind of contemplate and think about things a little bit more. And there's a lot of things that are a little bit more, I guess you would say a lot more perspective. So, I I made sure that I made it to my son's games this past weekend. I didn't feel like going. I was not feeling well, but the least I can do is sit in a chair and clap and cheer when and I got a lot of great pictures of him, and that sort of thing as I took my camera. But guys, not to be a downer or anything like that, I wanted you to see a new look for me, and I wanted you to see what I do for my hooded lids. I think that you can see that my eyes are very fresh looking, very open looking. I'm going to close my eyes so you can see what the actual look looks like. You should be able to tell that I went across instead of down into the actual crease. If I open my eyes just a little bit, you should be able to see the crease. And then when I open my eyes, it's much more fresh faced and that sort of thing. If you want it to, if you're just going out and about and you want a nice fresh face, but you want full makeup, but you want it to look fresh and clean and easy, don't use eyeliner. And if you have hooded lids, you can do this, and it works. And there's a lot of beauty gurus and a lot of people, like makeup artists and things like that, that will tell you about these particular tips. But, the tape is a great tip, because you don't want your eyeshadow to come down in here. I'm already dark in this area as it is. I don't want to, enhance that. And, going straight across, that way you can actually see the eyeshadow without me having to just close my eyes. I realize this has been a really long video. If you're still here, God bless you. But I wanted, to share several things with you all in one video. I wanted to kind of share what I've been going through. I wanted to kind of share, what I do about my hooded eyes. And I just wanted to share a makeup look and talk with you guys about some things. So I really do. I can't appreciate you enough. I can't tell you how awesome it is for someone my age to have started a YouTube channel and have people actually watch. I have 80 something subscribers. I would have never dreamed I'd have had any. I mean, I feel blessed already. And I just want you guys to know that I'm human. I'm a normal person. I'm just the kind of, woman that you're going to pass walking in the mall. I'm not a makeup artist. I'm not, nothing about me is, I'm not a professional in any shape, form, or fashion. I've always felt at home in the classroom, because I worked as a teacher for 18 years, and I always identified myself as a teacher. And so when I stopped teaching, it was a wake-up call. I had to redefine myself. And I spent, a good year just, working on how I do my makeup and playing and things like that, working with my planner, those kinds of things, because they brought me joy and enjoyment, I should say. They brought me happiness. And so that's what I've been doing. And I thought, you know what? I've watched so many YouTube channels that, the young girls, so many of them, they can do that. But what about the older group? What about the people that have mature skin? What about the people that fight, wrinkles? And what about the people that have these puffy hooded lids and things like that? There are makeup tutorials out there that people will show how to do things or whatever, but have you ever noticed that the person doing it doesn't have hooded lids? And they're teaching you how to fix your lids. So, I took some of the things that I've learned and I've kind of adapted them. And I feel like that this is a very pretty decent, look to go out and about and do whatever. And I think that if you are going to be going to work, this is a great look. It's nice. It's professional. And you can wear any color lipstick you want and it's still professional. I mean, rock a red lip if you want to rock a red lip. Because, my eyes are bronzy and you can put anything on there. Any color lipstick. I just chose this one because I love the Too Faced. That and the NARS are the Audacious lipsticks are awesome. So, but anyway, guys, I hope you've learned something from me today. I appreciate you watching me. I appreciate you listening to my story. I appreciate so many different things now, way more than I did before. And I don't know if my mom and dad are going to watch this, but I hope that if they do, that they do know how much I love them and how much I appreciate them and the things that they've done for me, and I love them very much. I've got my son and I've got my parents. I have a brother, but I don't get to see him much. So, so life stories, makeup, and all that rolled into one today. I just felt like sitting down and talking. And if you don't like long videos, I'm sorry. But I think that you will maybe find something here that is pertinent to you, hopefully. If you're watching, I hope that means that, we have something in common. But I appreciate you. I know it's long, but if you enjoyed it, please give me a thumbs up. And if you're new here, I do long videos, but this is the longest one I've ever done. I never anticipated a makeup tutorial being an hour or more long, but if you are new, I would love to have you join my family here on YouTube. So hit that subscribe button. I do all mine. They're one-take videos. I have not done any editing. I don't know how to edit or anything like that. So maybe one day I will get professional enough to learn how to do that. I'm doing good just to learn how to film them. But, and I don't have a great background and all that kind of stuff. But like I said, I'm not a makeup artist, and, I would love to do, cute little things in the background and all that kind of stuff. But for now, I have what I have, and that's a camera and my mouth. And, so I appreciate all of you. I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope you have a great week coming up, and I hope that I've been able to touch you in some way or teach you something today. So anyway, I guess that's really all I need. So yeah, guys, I love you. Bye.